Welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast. Hi there, I'm Blue. This is Mr. Fruit, and we've got even Robbie V here today too. What a
Thanks for
guy!
joining us.
We decided to keep the guest. You guys seem to like him.
For
so
now.
Hey.
he's
I'll
back
stick
for
around
another
for a
one.
while.
Trial basis.
Yeah.
We'll see how.
Till around
we'll see how it
June. We're
goes.
thinking a little soft launch until around June.
He's got intern payments right now, which is to say he's we'll see how he's going. You guys seem to like him, so we kept him around. Welcome to the podcast. Today we talk about a whole lot of video games once again. We talk about Helldivers. Rob, Fruit, and Joey played it a lot, and maybe they liked it, but maybe they didn't. I guess we'll find out. We talk about a lot of Super Bowl ads. Has the Super Bowl kind of fallen off when it comes to the ads? Who knows? We talk about how absolutely terrifying ARP, how absolutely terrifying AI has gotten, and our Lord Savior Pedro Pascal. We talk about him a lot and the fantastic forecasting, all that and more, in addition to Q&A. So if you guys want to listen to all that goofy stuff, then stick around.
Nah.
This episode of the GG Over Easy podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Relationships take a lot of work. A common misconception about relationships is that they're easy to be right. Therapy can be a place to work through those challenges you face in all of your relationships, whether with friends, work, or significant other. Therapy has helped me a ton with learning about who I am and learning how to go through relationships. A relationship is never easy and it takes constant work, and BetterHelp can help you with yours. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast. Staying up late gaming, hanging out with friends, yelling at my TV during the Super Bowl. It can be so exhausting living my life. That's why I need the best to stay hydrated, which is why I always got a liquid IV right next to me. It makes water taste so much better and you get hydrated even quicker. For me, it makes water taste so much better. I love the peach flavor. It is delicious. If only water normally tasted like this, Liquid IV is the best. I use my Liquid IV while I'm gaming. If I'm ever feeling a little bit tired and I need a little pick-me-up, Liquid IV gets me right to the energy that I need to be at. All it takes is one stick plus 16 ounces of water, has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drinks, no artificial sweeteners, 8 vitamins, and it's non-GMO. Weekends are for going wild. Have a game plan for Monday with Liquid IV. Grab your Liquid IV hydration multipliers, sugar-free, in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code GG at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Superior Hydration today using promo code GG at liquidiv.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 218.
17.
17,
Okay.
close though.
Shot in the dark. That was pretty close.
That was
welcome back.
You were
Close,
just back last
yeah.
week.
Yeah, I don't remember. If I couldn't remember the number when I was here every week, if you think 1 week back and I'm like,
Well, I thought 1 week because you knew what it was last week for sure. I thought you'd get lost as we kind of kept it going.
I
It's
just
funny.
threw that out there.
It's funny because as me and Rob have been handling everything, we've been getting really good at actually remembering for some reason.
Yep.
Well, because like
Spoilers. My memory is as bad as it used to be. Doesn't help.
as soon as I started like doing all the thumbnails and shit, I was like, I know what podcast this is. I know what episode this is.
You would think that
Agreed.
would have helped me too. No. Memory of a goldfish.
We all
Anyway,
have
welcome
our
back to
demons.
today's episode where we're going to discuss whatever we talked about or said we're going to talk about in the intro. Because we have point A, which is right now, and we have point B, which is the topics we're supposed to talk about. But we end up middling and finding the rest of the alphabet. So how will we get there? Who really knows?
I sure don't. I sure do not.
I
Mr.
do.
Fruit, what
I
are you
did.
sipping on?
I did realize we forgot to talk about the Super Bowl last week. What are you doing back there?
We
I was
didn't have
looking at you. We were talking, and you're like,
we didn't have the Super Bowl to talk about last week because we recorded
Well,
the
I was
podcast
just
on
thinking
Fridays.
of like what we were talking about.
We
I was
record
thinking
the
it
was
podcast.
not-
We record the
not-
podcast on Fridays, and the Super Bowl was 2 days after we recorded the podcast.
Well, I just realized we didn't do our Super Bowl predictions or anything that had
All right,
to do
that's
any
fair.
correlation to Super Bowl. I called it. I knew the Chiefs were going to win. I don't know who you thought you had winning it, Mr.
That was a
Well, I knew-
Dork Shadow script.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
even watch
big,
football.
big football had it all planned. So it all happened the way I thought it would, which is to say, depressing, sad. Didn't want either of those teams to be there, but at the very least, I was like, whatever, get Brock Purdy and the Niners will win finally or something. Just not the Chiefs. And of course, we got Dingus over here going, wait, if we score a touchdown on the first thing in overtime, we don't win? Oh, I didn't know that. Like, what?
That's pretty bad, man. If I'm the
How are
coach,
you
I'm
in-
also like, shut the hell up. Like,
Yeah, how are you in the Super Bowl, my dude? And you don't know the updated overtime rules. This is like the third season or something.
yeah, I
My
think Juszczyk
my
went to
guy.
Harvard as well or something like that. I know he went to an Ivy League school. The one who was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I had no idea like the overtime
Oh.
rules. Yeah,
Well,
an Ivy
clearly it
Leaguer.
was one of those like a Harvard degree. It was one of those sports degrees, you know. He's on the team. And
I mean, this just shows how you got like so many of our politicians. So many of our politicians probably don't know a lot of our updated overtime rulings in the political department. So
oh,
Harvard educated people probably they're
nice
just like,
connection there. I like that.
So let's
It's true.
sidebar the sport part of the Super Bowl and talk about what, I would say 40 to 50% of people watch the Super Bowl for.
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift. Nice.
Close.
I watched for Taylor Swift. Well, I didn't watch for Taylor Swift, but like
Every time she
it
came
was
up, you're
funny.
like,
It was funny because I was like, am I a normie when it comes to sports?
Yes.
Like, is that what I am? And I've accepted that I am, but like I went I was with my parents and because they fucking love watching the Super Bowl. And
Yep.
and when I got there, my mom was like, "Oh, who's that girl with the red hair?" And I was like, "That's really narrows it down, Mom." She's like,
That's
"Who's
wait.
that?"
Let me
Who's-
segue because I had the same thing. I asked Claire. I said, "Who's Annie?" And she goes, "That's Ice Spice."
Oh
Icy
my
Spicy.
God!
You
Yes,
didn't know who Icy
yes.
Spicy
I'm a boomer
is?
too.
You didn't know
No.
Icy Spicy? Well,
Yeah,
so
I was like,
I'm on
who's
the
the Annie looking?
who's Annie? That's insane. Well, I'm on the
Ew.
inverse. I'm on the inverse side of
Ooh.
Normie, where my mom was like, "Oh, you love her. She's got the afro. She's got the red hair. She does the Starry commercials." And I was like, "Oh, Ice Spice."
Starry.
And my mom is like, "Oh yeah, she's in Taylor Swift's booth. Oh, I thought you would like to know." And I was like, "Fuck, am I that normie now?" Like, my mom is like, "Oh, dude, Ice Spice is hanging out with Taylor Swift."
She's like, blue.
Ice Spice right there.
That's what I was like. Claire was like drawing or something like, "Oh, baby, you missed this Taylor Swift. Hold on, let me go back." So no, I saw it.
But I will have to say, okay, you remember like, let's say around like 2012, 2013, when people were like, "Oh, I don't watch the Super Bowl
So
for
2
the
years
game.
ago. Okay.
I watch it for the ads." I felt like since that became like a saying or like a lot of people's feelings about the Super Bowl, the commercials and everything have just
They've gotten
like been awful.
Audio listeners, he did a nosedive.
He did a
Awful.
nosedive. He did a
These commercials
nosedive.
suck. The
He
only
did a
cool one was
nosedive.
Dunkin' Donuts.
He started doing the Drake thing again, where but this time he did it for real, like meat stick out.
I hate these commercials. I don't know who are these ad agencies and they're thinking or any awful. Like
They're trying to
I
get
gotta
like
say-
they're trying to
Yeah.
get like meta, and it's like you can't like to be meta. You have to like be funny in the first place.
bro,
like-
like that JFK Jr. or RFK Jr. ad. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Oh my
That
god,
had to be one of the most dystopian ads I've ever seen.
100%.
And Sydney goes
100%.
like, we're watching that, and I'm like, no, I was literally watching it just like this, and I was like, no way, like, there's no way he could afford that, like, no way. And then all of a sudden it's like Robert F. like, and I was like, no way, like this is like actually a real commercial. Now, do I like the little nostalgia feel to it? Like, I can't lie. Yeah, but you're a fucking freak, bruh. Like, I can't lie.
Wasn't it? Didn't like JFK's like so whatever on Twitter, like his like great whatever was like, yeah, this commercial's insane. Like, what? None of us.
He ain't that old.
I
None
don't
of
know
us-
if he's related to Kennedy in any sort of way, or if he just has the same
Well, I'm
name.
pretty sure one of Kennedy's relatives was like my like grandfather, great grand or whatever was like, this is he would have hated this
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
So-
I might citation needed, but
I just know that dude's a freak. So that was like one of the oddest commercials. Okay, so let's talk about good commercials. Did you guys like any of
okay,
the
we'll talk
commercials?
about. I got tagged so many freaking times over the
Oh.
Michael Cera V commercial, which was
did-
probably the best commercial in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I forgot
That
about
one
was
was
a good one.
great. That brought me back to like classic funny Super Bowl ads that like actually like, oh, you're playing on your brand name. You got the Michael Cera. I didn't get paid for it. I'm sorry to tell you guys. The joke is that I'm not Michael Cera. That was great. I thought that was probably my favorite one. Yeah, I think I will say the most cringe one was the hotels.com one. Because they're like, guys, this is so funny. That dude from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like that was like peak. It probably wasn't the worst commercial, but it was like this was like for me it was like this is what corporate humor is, and this is why I don't really care for. I don't really watch the Super Bowl for the ads anymore personally. But it's just like, yeah, it's so funny. Haha, we're so funny. We're so corporations are funny. We get you guys. And then they wink at the camera. It's like, okay, man. I don't know. It was okay. The CeraVe one was definitely my favorite one, though. It was funny.
I like the Paramount.
See, I would like the
Paramount
Paramount
one
more
was-
if I had not seen it the day before, type of thing. I also hate that companies do that
Also,
now.
yeah, what's with
Yeah,
this
that's true.
releasing the commercials like a week ahead of time?
I mean, that's
like-
not new. They've been doing that for a couple of years. It's annoying.
Yeah, but
I know,
like
I just
I hate
hate
it.
Yeah.
I would have been all on board with the Aubrey Plaza Mountain Dew commercial, but I was
True.
like if
I've
I
been
saw it,
blasted with it already.
yeah, if I had saw it like at the Super Bowl, I would have been like, "Fuck yeah, Aubrey Plaza! Fuck yeah, this fucks." But I was like, I had that reaction like a week earlier. I was like, well, I mean, kind
Well,
of
see,
ruins the
the
fun.
advantage of being someone like me who just somehow misses these things. I only saw the Paramount one, so everything else was new. I liked the Paramount the first time I saw it. I would have liked it more had like the surprise
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
the actual Super Bowl spot.
Exactly.
What else was there? I didn't like it. There's just like 3 spots of that random, I don't know much about him, Tubo or whatever, Tubi, or apparently it's just like Chinese Amazon or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. They had
There's
like
3
2
of those.
spots. Yeah.
3, yeah, I don't, good amount of money. Just pew. Appreciated. There's like 3 Jeff Goldblum because they were all a part of like the same family, hotels and apartments and whatever.
Hotels.com booking.
Oh,
Yeah.
The State Farm with Arnold Schwarzenegger was pretty good. I liked that one.
Oh, I like
Okay,
that one, yeah.
okay. See, same deal. I would have
Neighbor.
stand the fuck out of it if I didn't see it like 3 days
Okay, I
earlier.
hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, it's
But
the-
that one was hilarious. If I saw that one the day of, I would have been like, that was the best one.
I forgot about that one. That one was peak.
Yeah, that one was amazing.
And then,
Well-
lest we not forget, although we didn't see much, it was more just, hey, go online. The new Deadpool trailer,
Oh,
Oh, so
which is, let's see how many
good.
views it's had now. Because I know like the first day it had like 350 million or something.
all right. I'm gonna make a declaration. Okay. I think I've never been more excited for a Marvel movie, and I'm telling you, like, I'm more excited than like Infinity War and like Endgame
That's
with this
21
movie.
million, 350
Indivisible
million.
under God.
350
Yeah.
million. That was ambitious, Mr. Fruit.
That's what I saw a headline.
No, I saw a
Could've been
thing
fake
where
news.
it broke like 20 for a trailer in the first 24 hours. It had broke the most views for a
Yeah.
trailer in 24 hours. I think is what I wrote. Or
Well, I
read as
see it on YouTube. It is 21 million views. So
Well, it
maybe
might just be this
it's-
one individual. I don't know where all of them are. Oh, it might. They also might be counting X views.
Oh,
me
that's
see.
true.
Yeah, I saw like 350
I
million
hate
the
that I
first
just
day
called
or
it X.
something like.
What's wrong with you?
I
I don't know.
recently updated my Twitter on my phone, and now it's not the little bird anymore. It's the X.
Disgusting.
Y'all make
But
me.
But regardless, that trailer was so gas, and it
eh,
feels like what I want. Like that's kind of why I fell in love with Marvel movies. Is like that level of humor that just catches me. But like because it's Deadpool, it's just turned up to 11. And like
yeah,
I need Marvel has like been spending so much time trying to get like a little edgier, like a little more, a little more cutting edge, a little more, they're trying to like up the stakes, and it always just feels like really hollow. But like when I'm just like I'm ready to watch Deadpool
Oh,
get like shredded up. I'm ready to watch Deadpool just start swearing at all this crazy shit. I'm ready to look at Wolverine pick him up by his chest cavity by stabbing into him. Like that's what I need in Marvel movies. Marvel needs to pick it up, and maybe Deadpool is it.
I do appreciate the meta joke where it's like, I'm here to save your cinematic universe.
am I like Marvel
And he
Jesus?
And
is,
in
and
some
he
ways,
is.
um, yeah, trailer great. Interesting reading a whole bunch of like the theories people have. Um, but yeah, that he's going to. One of the theories is he's going to go to the X-Men universe or whatever, because
Which would
apparently
be so
Deadpool's not a
funny.
part of the sacred timeline at all or whatever. So he's just whatever. So that's why there's the TVA,
Yeah,
He's like an
because
anomaly.
well,
and
it's
he's going to go
because
save the X-Men timeline, and assumedly that's how he brings them into the cinematic universe.
which would be awesome. Well, because it's true. It's like the same like Madam Web and like Morbius. Like technically they are part of the MCU, but they're Sony's MCU.
Imagine there's a joke in there. There's like they see one secret timeline. Like, here's Morbius. He's like, we don't need that one.
Yeah,
He
Like
said,
even
we
Spider
don't need
like
to say that
we
one.
can keep him
like
there.
like people forget all the time. Superman. Tom Holland Spider Man is like part of
You
is
just leaked the new
Sony's.
casting.
Sorry, bro.
Oh,
Is
man.
Sony's like that's Sony's movie. It's just Marvel is like, hey, like we'll get a little oversight on it and be like, is this poggers? So yeah, obviously, like Marvel's more hands off on like Sony's like we're making more recent Madam Web, and Marvel's like, we don't fucking care, dude. Like
They
whatever.
have the rights, so it's like, no, I mean,
But yeah, but like with Tom Holland, they're like, all right, we gotta
yeah,
make
like,
like we
don't
need
mess this up.
him. Like don't mess this up, don't fuck this up, Sony. So, but I mean, I'm excited, dude. I'm just really excited.
They seem to change the title too, because I don't ever remember it being called Deadpool and Wolverine. I always just figured it was called just Deadpool 3, no? Or was it
Well,
always
Well, I
they've
mean,
changed it like twice now, and they still have a theory that with like every reveal or trailer, they're gonna keep changing it
yeah.
until the last real reveal, which will be the actual title. Because yeah, they've changed it like 2 or 3 times now in different promotional material. So who really knows? I don't know. Either way, it looks really fun. Comes out soon. I have high hopes.
Very high
Um,
hopes.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably one of the most excited movies I've been for the whole year.
I am
far.
excited for one more though. In fact, I think I might be more excited. And I think it comes out
Godzilla?
sooner. No. Dune 2.
Oh, it comes out like
I
in about 2 weeks
actually
now.
just a couple days ago went back to the theaters to see Dune 1 reissue. Even better than I remember.
Bro,
Great.
I totally
Had a great time.
what I forgot is that Dune came out during like peak COVID. And like I didn't get to see Dune in the theaters. So when I saw it was reissued, I was like, why'd they do that? We all saw it, and then I went, wait a second.
Hold up.
Watched it on HBO because it came out like straight to HBO that day. I remember. And
Yep. Saw it again in theaters. Banger.
I haven't seen it in like 2 or 3 years. I need to go see it.
Yeah, me either. I hadn't seen it since it came out, and I remember I was like, I like this movie. And second one's coming out, and I was already planning on rewatching because I was like, well, I need to rewatch it for the second one. And then I was like, wait, I can just go see it in theaters. Literally, give me any decent excuse to go to the movie theater. Catch your boy there. So I'm like, bet. I got my cinnamon pretzel bites sitting in my chair. And of course, we watched it. So good. In fact, that's the thing is I never rewatch movies. I rewatch that banger. I might even rewatch it again before part 2. I'm excited for part 2. And apparently there's going to be not really a part 3, but a third one that covers the second book, because part 1 and part 2. Apparently there's like 6 Dune books. I didn't know any of this.
This episode of the GG Over Easy podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Relationships take a lot of work. A common misconception about relationships is that they're easy to be right. Therapy can be a place to work through those challenges you face in all of your relationships, whether with friends, work, or significant other. Therapy has helped me a ton with learning about who I am and learning how to go through relationships. A relationship is never easy and it takes constant work, and BetterHelp can help you with yours. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast. Staying up late gaming, hanging out with friends, yelling at my TV during the Super Bowl. It can be so exhausting living my life. That's why I need the best to stay hydrated, which is why I always got a liquid IV right next to me. It makes water taste so much better, and you get hydrated even quicker. For me, it makes water taste so much better. I love the peach flavor. It is delicious. If only water normally tasted like this, liquid IV is the best. I use my liquid IV while I'm gaming. If I'm ever feeling a little bit tired and I need a little pick-me-up, liquid IV gets me right to the energy that I need to be at. All it takes is 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water, has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drinks, no artificial sweeteners, 8 vitamins, and it's non-GMO. Weekends are for going wild. Have a game plan for Monday with Liquid IV. Grab your Liquid IV hydration multipliers, sugar-free, in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code GG at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Superior Hydration today using promo code GG at liquidiv.com.
First movie is the 2 parts, or the first book is 2 parts, and then he's apparently going to do second book is the 3rd movie. Either way, as long as they keep the same energy, it will be a little marred. It's going to be hard to carry without Oscar Isaac's beautiful beard, but
Spoilers,
whatever.
man.
Spoilers, man. What? He just shaved his beard. That's why I'm upset.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he looked way better with the beard.
Movie looks awesome. I did see Zendaya at one of the premieres yesterday, looking like C-3PO, looking ass.
Yeah. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why?
Weird.
I don't understand, because like somebody made that. Is it supposed to be an ad for their, like, I just don't understand when people do that. Like, is it just trying to get people's name in their mouths? Like, oh my God, that was made by, like,
I did see somebody where it was like Zendaya in fall winter 95, you know, so that outfit had been made in 1995, apparently. It was like some fashion company's like fall winter drop.
Of course.
Couldn't tell you anything more about it.
I don't get it. That one's lost on me, Chief. Unlike the Chiefs, who didn't lose.
Don't get it either.
I did forget what director said it about Dune 2, but they were basically saying whoever like the director of Dune is, but was basically saying it's like his Empire Strikes Back, essentially. Forgot who said that.
And I just forget how. I just love the cinematic, the cinematography. It's just such a good job.
I don't understand the hype behind Dune, but I do understand the hype behind the shots. Never has the desert looked more aesthetic. Never have I been
I'm like, this is boring, and how's it so beautiful?
If boring, then why pretty?
Exactly.
Gas. So
yes, go on, Blue. Get him. In the last bit of movie news, before we move on, we got the official casting of the Fantastic Four. Marvel's Fantastic Four. It's finally happening. I asked Claire, she hadn't seen it yet. So I was like, hey, Fantastic Four casting just came out. Guess who they cast as Reed Richards, as Mr. Fantastic? She did not. She couldn't guess it, which I was surprised. And I was like, I know him. Okay, so like, does that help? Because that usually helps. Still didn't get to him. She was caught off. Granted, I think I'm pretty caught off too for Reed Richards. However, coming in at Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, we have the one, the only husbando, super hot
The
recently,
peak husbando.
Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just like I'm still trying to figure out where I see him as Mr. Fantastic, but just the fact that we get him in the MCU now, sweet.
Is hype.
And like
And they
not
better
just
not
like
fuck it up.
Pedro.
and not just like a role. Like he's like one of the like especially with like multiverse and all that kind of stuff. Like Reed Richards is like a very important like character in that.
Oh, 100%. One of the most important. I am still slightly heartbroken because John Krasinski
I agree.
would have
Yeah,
been
that would have been cool.
so good.
I don't think he was interested though.
Yeah, but the cameo that filled me with a little bit of joy.
Yeah, that's all I needed.
Enough. And but like I can't say I'm mad at Pedro Pascal at all as Reed Richards. I mean, I think Pedro can do it all. So and plus, I mean, I actually really like the rest of the casting. So
Speaking of rest of the casting for Sue Storm,
peak.
aka
This is the
the
best casting, in my
Invisible
opinion.
Woman,
Yeah,
we have Vanessa Kirby for
Great
Johnny
casting.
Storm, aka
great
the Human,
casting.
aka the
Great
Human
casting.
Torch. We have Joseph Quinn.
And I didn't know how I felt about that, but then I thought about it, and I was like, he could do it.
That's the guy
Well,
from Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw him and I was like, he seems familiar, but I can't remember what I saw him from. Yeah, he was what was his
What is his name?
well, I just know he sung the Chrissy Wake Up. I don't
Yeah.
like this. Chrissy Wake Up. I listen
He's
to
the
that remix way
Master
too much.
Puppets thing. That was
Yeah, what
sick.
the fudge is his name? Anyway, like long hair, he was like Metallica D&D nerd. And then Ben Graham, aka the Thing. I don't know how to say this guy's last name is, or actually is any of his name. Abon Mosbachrock.
Yeah, he's from The Bear, if and some other things.
The Bear and the romantic comedy with Jennifer Lawrence that went up on Netflix not too long ago. Claire and I watched it recently, which is why I recognized him. I haven't seen The Bear. Yeah, all in all, a pretty interesting casting. I think it looks promising, the casting itself, and I'm just sitting. I've just been stewing on the Pedro's Reed Richards. I think I could definitely see him. I'm interested to see though, like where they take him because, again, I see Mr. Fantastic definitely is more of like the awkward, definitely smart, but like sort of on the spectrum, kind of like awkward, nerdy. That's how I always came across. So we'll see where they go with him. Granted, Claire reminded me he can certainly play a nerd. If you've ever seen I forget the title of the movie. He just did it with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, the weight of like
Oh, the unbearable weight of like
unbearable weight of massive talent or something.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah, where he just played like a huge geek about
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. So I could see it, and that's just the thing is, honestly, I could see him. At this point, he seems like he's got range, you know? So I would trust it. He obviously
Pedro
needs
could
to
do it all.
like, as long as he's solid, everyone else doesn't have to be perfect, but being the head of the Fantastic Four. And people are, this might be a bit much, but people are already jumping, being like, he could be the new RDJ for Marvel. I'm like, all right, well, like,
Okay, guys, let's
not get too ahead of ourselves.
like, don't get me wrong. I think Pedro definitely the type of guy who could do it, but at the same time, like RDJ was like RDJ. It wasn't like RDJ wasn't like
He
it wasn't
single-handedly made
just
the cinematic universe exist.
well, it wasn't just him. Like he was like, there's never like it's like the phrase like, you never have your first time again, right? Like
Yeah.
he was like the original guy with a universe that worked, and he was like the source of everything that came after.
If you hate
So
superhero movies, you can blame RDJ.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like it's yeah, RDJ obviously. Iron Man, like the fucking man. But the context surrounding it, like you're never gonna have, you're not gonna have that magic of Iron Man because you're not gonna have that first ever again. At least not in this current universe. So it's
But
not gonna. Maybe Pedro puts out the performance of a lifetime here and like does that, but like it would have to be enough to like really, and
I'm
like the movie
thinking
would have to be good to like really remind people of like why they fell in love with Marvel in the first place.
I think what people are hoping is, and I guess what I'm hoping is, he does such a good job. The movie's so good, and his character's good enough that he can become a draw again
Oh
for
yeah,
Marvel movies. Because like right now, we lost most of the big original cast. Like we don't
we
really have
lost
any
all the
big names
draws.
anymore. Where it's like,
Yeah,
so I think that's part of it too. Is like getting back people to get excited for about other projects, or like, because even if we sort of did like another Avengers right now, I'd be like, who's showing up? Like who are
yeah.
Miss
the
Marvel.
big draws?
Well, I would say the
That'd be
biggest
cool to see, but
draw.
that's not a draw.
Captain Marvel could have been a big draw, but I don't know. They just kind of like they handled it weird after the fact of the first Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel, which I still really like. A lot of people can disagree with me, but
It
the
wasn't
way
bad.
they pivoted it and like kind of like reduced her role and kind of like step back, that definitely hurt her becoming like a bigger draw. But like the biggest draw is 100% right. It's like it was like Chris Hemsworth. Ragnarok came out, that didn't really help. And then Chris Pratt, who, don't get me wrong, popped off of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yahoo!
Like Chris Pratt was never like, Star Lord was never at that same like level of importance in the MCU, nor as big of a draw as like Captain fucking America, Iron Man, um, Hawkeye, right, guys? Hawkeye, um,
Oh no.
and we have Hulk, which honestly, like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him. He's just kind of sitting there, just
Well, they recently, or like whatever, literally came out and said that like the Hulk will never get a standalone movie.
Yeah, in an interview, Mark Ruffalo's like,
Guys, I'll tell you guys.
I also don't know if you guys saw the edit. It's like Hawkeye, but like someone edited it so where he always misses his arrow whenever he shoots it, like
Oh,
in that big
man.
battle. It's so funny.
And then Scarlett
Um,
Johansson is a great draw. I mean, like, even though a lot of people didn't love Black Widow, that movie did really, really well in COVID era for a COVID era movie. So it's like, and she's dead, so no one cares. They haven't built up Florence Pugh to be like the Scarlet Widow replacement, and Florence Pugh could be an insane draw. But like, I don't know, they're like twiddling their thumbs, trying to do too many things, and I agree with Fruit. They don't really have a draw right now.
I did see that the Fantastic Four movie comes out the same month as James Gunn's Superman movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting shades of Battleborn Overwatch.
But what if they're both just sick? Like, don't get
It
me, because
didn't
I
work out for
really want
Battleborn.
James Gunn's DC to work. Like
Yeah, me
I like
too.
the DC world more than I like the Marvel world. So
Spin.
I don't know. It's just DC's like too. DC's like been milked, and like we didn't get a whole lot of good milk from DC, and it just feels like it's like too
yeah, but now
raw.
we got a chocolate cow rolling in. You know what I mean? We're about to.
Man, I don't know. James Gunn, I think, could definitely do it. I mean, he did it with Suicide Squad. Obviously, he's the guy in charge of making Guardians of the Galaxy one of the best like probably the best superhero trilogy. But I don't know. DC's like so tainted by just
Real,
terrible management.
real quick, when you guys see Pedro Pascal, what's his first role you think of him at? Like, what do you see him? Like, you see Pedro Pascal, and I go, oh, that's the Viper. I always just default to his
Viper,
Game of Thrones
really?
role.
The
I
quick to
always,
die.
because that's the first time I ever saw him. So it's kind of like the first kind of role I always
I
like.
I
put
think
him as.
Mandalorian.
I think currently it's Joel, but I
Yeah,
think it's literally just whatever the last thing I saw him in.
yeah,
And like the last thing I watched
I,
was
yeah. That's
um
fair.
but yeah, I would say either that, or if like overall it'd be that or Mando for me.
God damn.
I've started watching a
Mando.
little bit of Narcos, and I know he's in there, but I still haven't watched too much.
My
I
dad
haven't watched the
fucking
Narcos where he's in it.
loves Narcos. My dad fucks so hard with Narcos, and when he heard Pedro is gonna be Mandalorian, he was like, "Oh, that's gonna be hype." And I was like, "Dad, you know who Pedro Pascal is?" And he was like, "Yeah, Narcos." I'm like, oh shit, my bad, Dad.
No.
Like, damn,
Yeah, I was unfamiliar with your game.
that's my bad.
Possibly hinting at what they're planning to do with the future of MCU, though, with some of the casting rumors we've heard. Currently, I believe they're looking at Javier Bardem, I believe that's how you say his last name, for the villain.
Hype.
Did you see who they...
Is that No Country for Old Men?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
They are casting him for Galactus, which is pretty big. He's a big baddie. I figured they were going to save him for like an Avengers thing.
Well, I think they didn't have a choice. And they're like, hey, with this whole Kang thing happening,
They need a villain. They spent so long building up Kang, doing it poorly, might I add.
And
Like
now-
just and then like the Jonathan Majors shit just like it was already like at the like going down to rock bottom. The Jonathan Majors stuff just made sure it's like it's at the bottom of the ocean now. So they
Look.
desperately need like who better than Dr. fucking Doom.
I don't think I was on the podcast when I talked about this. I just don't understand too why they're so set on Jonathan Majors. That's also what shot them in the foot, is because think about it, their whole like multiverse thing and all the different
Kang could be
timelines.
anyone.
Yeah, every character we have seen has different variants where they always look different.
Exactly.
So why is Kang always the same in every single universe? It's so easy to just be like, oh yeah, that was this Kang in a couple universes. And here's his new Kang. That's different. But
They
they were
shot
like
themselves
so
so
set on
hard.
just
yeah.
like, what if they just retconned that end of the Ant-Man cinematic where like it's a coliseum of Kangs, where it should have been a whole bunch of Kangs, not just it was like Jonathan Majors and one of them was like a reptile.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
like you could have easily like if what's his name, the guy who voiced Thanos, like you
Josh
could have
Brolin.
easily found a pretty good Josh Brolin. You could have easily found a pretty good, you know, if the same circumstances happened, like you have Thanos who is already foreboding because you built him to be, you know, not of this earth, like grand god, and Josh Brolin voiced it. Like something happened with Josh Brolin, you'd still have Thanos. You could still easily do a just as good Thanos. So I agree. The focus on making Jonathan Majors like the big guy, such a weird choice when you have the anyone could be Kang. Wow. What are you doing? What are the decisions? I mean, I can't
well,
really like Marvel's great at decision making when they did fucking Secret Invasion, like so.
but what has also shown that they might be moving away from Kang, and I'm also interested to see if Deadpool retcons Kang. I'm
That
interested to
would
see
be
if that's where
so
they kill
dope.
it.
I mean, they might as well because they basically killed him being foreboding in Ant-Man.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing. So there was a rumor, though. This one hasn't been confirmed, because apparently they'll be waiting to do the casting until filming starts.
Mhm.
But it's rumored that at the end of this movie, they're going to tease the next villain. Rob, could you guess who it is?
Oh God. And like a Marvel, so they're teasing
They're teasing
Ooh.
what I will think be the next Avenger level threat.
Oh, Galactus.
Galactus. You just said, right?
No, Galactus is the movie's threat.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
But they've already talked about, apparently it's leaked who they're teasing at the end, which makes me think they're killing Kang.
Another domestic
like
violence case?
God damn. Holy shit, Rob. You-
Is it not that?
Mom, no.
What's gotten into you, man? Like what?
That's what the big baddie was at that end,
ever
man.
since you slapped
So-
your
I
Schmied
want you
out,
to-
man, I don't know.
I want you to know, Fruit. This isn't like you came back and Rob's like turned to 11.
I have
Rob
been on
has
my bullshit
been-
lately.
Rob has been on his bullshit for like the
I've been
past
on my
10
shit.
podcasts. He has been unhinged.
I love that for you.
The big baddie in Marvel? God, I don't know.
Big
The
bad.
big baddie. I don't know.
She-Hulk?
Okay, no, think
Think
Fantastic
This is a
Four.
big baddie.
how fantastic. Okay, so Fantastic. Well,
Silver Surfer.
Somebody you would see.
Silver
No.
Surfer.
I mean, it's just somebody I would see in that.
Rob, it rhymes with somebody in Hearthstone who would make 5/5 Doombots.
Oh,
Pepper
Dr.
Potts?
Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Well, I
It's
did
what they've
see.
been.
Wait,
It's what a lot of people have been saying. That's what
not
they should
fair.
do.
That's not fair. I didn't think that was a valid answer because I said it earlier. I was like,
I
who better
figured
than
they were
Dr.
gonna.
Doom?
I thought
Oh, I
Dr.
didn't
Doom
hear
was going to be
Dr.
teased at the end of Wolverine.
Yeah, I was like,
Deadpool is what
earlier-
I thought it was going to be.
Earlier,
You
I was
think
like,
it's
if
going
they're
to be a
gonna set it.
Fantastic Four?
Earlier, I
Well,
was
that's
like, if
what
they're gonna
the
set up a
rumors have
big
been,
bad, like who's better than Doctor Doom? Like Doctor Doom is
Oh yeah.
Doctor
Well, yeah,
Doom
so-
boxes with Thanos and like beats his ass.
But
So,
like,
like,
isn't
I
Doctor
could see
Doom like
Doctor Doom.
mainly the Fantastic Fours? Like,
You shut your
also his
fucking mouth.
villain.
You shut your fucking mouth. Doctor Doom
What?
is Doctor
Well,
Doom.
I
Doctor
don't-
Doom is him.
I get
I don't
that.
know comics. I'm sure there's some comic out there
We're
where it was like an
talking.
Avengers level threat.
We're talking. We're talking. Doctor Doom is like walking up to Thanos, and Thanos is like,
I
"I'm
have
the
an MF
god
Doom
of,"
mask.
and then Thanos just like, and then like Doctor Doom just like phases in
Hit him
and like
with the
rips
Chris
his
Rock.
spine out, and is like, "Yeah, you're a bitch, bro."
See, look, I'm a fan.
You're a fan of MF Doom. You're not a fan of Doctor Doom.
Oh,
True.
All right, there's a big difference.
But
I'm a fan of both.
I
All
did
right,
see
so-
like in Wolverine, Deadpool, when he's like Deadpool's laying on the ground. I guess there's a Secret Wars comic with Doctor Doom on the cover of it, like in the sand.
Well, I think that's what they might hint at it, and then apparently from the leaks, and that's why they said they're not going to do casting until filming starts because it's going to be like the post-credit scene or whatever for Marvel. But I'm assuming they leaked that too, to be like, okay, hey, look, this is where we're going.
To start building some hype.
Yeah, be like, yeah, this because like if Kang just randomly gets deleted in like Wolverine and Deadpool, they're gonna be like, wait, what?
I
So
would.
they're gonna be
I
like,
would.
no, yeah, whoops, but Doctor Doom.
I would cream if they made Doctor Doom the main baddie of the MCU. Like, who better than Doctor Doom? Right
It's so
here,
funny
right now.
because this feels like the panic button. They're like, Kang's out, hit the Doctor Doom button.
Well, Doctor Doom is like, I don't know. For me, Doctor Doom was like one of those guys in like the same like vein as like Darkseid. Like, yeah, Doctor Doom was like yeah, like the Fantastic Four third his plans a lot. But like when Doctor Doom got like the big like I'm gonna do some universal like fucked up shit, like Doctor Doom had some insanely gas storylines. So high quality.
He hates like the Fantastic Four, right? He's basically like the Joker to their like Batman. You know what I mean? Like
He's the Doctor Doom of the Fantastic Four. Put some respect on that man's name.
yeah, I'm not familiar with his game. I just know he can rap.
That's
Yeah, I'm looking because I thought I saw like a casting rumor, but yeah, they came out to say officially. News came with a Valentine's Day announcement from Marvel Studios, and Variety's coverage of the reveal noted how Victor Von Doom, aka Doctor Doom, has currently yet to be cast.
Doctor Doom is like
Who the fuck do you cast for that?
Doctor Doom is like in the same vein as Thanos too, where it's like he has his reasons for doing what he does, and like at times you often feel like, damn, like I can understand where that dude's coming from. That like I feel like that's probably why they didn't do Doctor Doom so soon after. I mean, also they wanted the Fantastic Four rights, but yeah, I don't know. I think like him, he's their best bet for sure. I mean, you had like Apocalypse too, but like the X-Men universe kind of already used that. I feel like Galactus is too soon, you know.
Well, but that's why I'm surprised that they're seemingly using Galactus for just this one-off. That's what I'm surprised by.
Galactus, I don't know. Galactus is like
Team up.
that. Galactus is like that too cartoonishly like cosmic to be like a main MC like cinematic universe, you know what I mean? Like there has to be like a level of like
Reminds me of
like,
Eternals,
yeah,
where suddenly these giant dudes are creating the robots,
Yeah, yeah.
and Earth is one giant robot or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. It's
what
like
the
it's
fudge
all-
is happening?
it's like too cartoonishly cosmic to work right now, but like having like a level of having something grounded like Kang, you know, that would work really well. So yeah, I mean Doctor Doom, man, Doctor Doom's like top top 3 easily Marvel villains. Dare I say top 3 villains in my villain repertoire of the comic book land.
But that just has me
Uh,
wondering. So like when is this next Avengers movie coming? Are they just like completely mixing this one?
it's got to be like pushed.
And then if we're waiting for Doctor Doom, when is this? Like 2027? Because the Marvel movies, was it May 2025 or whatever? So then you got to start think they start setting that all that up. Oh my god, who really knows?
Who would you
But
guys
either
cast
way.
as Doom, real quick? First person that comes to your mind.
If he wasn't already in the MCU, Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac is Doctor Doom. I don't know. I could see it.
I just love Oscar Isaac. He's got range. And I feel like the same way Josh Brolin, I was like Thanos, just like what? But then they went crazy with him. I love Oscar Isaac, and I think he could do something crazy with it. They won't do it though. I mean, he's already Moon
Stick
Knight,
with
but
me here. Okay. Now, I did look up Doctor Doom cast, and I think this is the nice one. It wouldn't have popped in my head otherwise, but I think it's great. Nikolaji Coster-Waldau. I probably butchered that really bad, but
he
Jaime
was
Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he'd be a gas. Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like that.
I feel like he would work as a good like opposite to Pedro Pascal's Norman Reedus too.
What about
Norman Reedus? Oh my god, Reed Richards.
Put some
Holy
respect
shit.
on Reed
My
Richards,
bad.
bro. One of the
My
best antagonists in
My
all
bad.
of, or protagonists
My
in all
bad.
of my comic universe.
That's on me. That's on me. That's on
What
me.
about? I don't think he's in the MCU yet. Alexander Skarsgård.
Who's
I'd like to see that.
is
I
that
feel like he could do
is that it or whatever?
No, that was
Oh
was,
no, that's his brother.
That's his brother.
Yeah. Alexander Skarsgård, he was in Godzilla vs Kong. Who's that dude? He
That
did
guy,
True he did a not True Blood.
Northman.
Was it True Blood?
He did True Blood.
Yeah, True Blood.
I'd like to see him.
Yeah, he had his
think
meat
he's a
swinging
great
around in that one movie,
Right.
Never seen it.
which was gas, but there was a gas final fight. But I was like, damn,
Yeah,
The
that
scene
was
with
the
his
North-
meat was gas, or the fight scene was gas?
both. Why not?
Yeah. They
I'd
both
be
helped each
surprised.
other.
I'd be surprised the meat was real in that fight. To be honest, so I don't think it
So-
was. Those two.
So we're currently talking
He's like,
about.
he knows
Mr.
it was. He's like, thanks, man.
Mr.
Appreciate that.
Viewers, Mr. Fruit. When I was like, I don't know if that meat was real. Like that's, and Mr. Fruit just goes, oh
No.
maybe it
So
was.
kind of sticking on the topic of movies. Yesterday, we were introduced to a new AI
Holy
video
shit!
creating thing. I don't know how to. I
Well said.
took the
The
words right
future.
out of their mouths. Basic, and I hate the fucking name they use because now it'll forever be attached to this.
Simple and clean.
Yeah. I hate you. Sora is apparently this new AI
Kingdom Hearts 4
video
looks
creating
crazy.
software that seems to almost, take what you do with AI, which is like Shrek drinking a bottle of purple in front of a Ferrari and dancing, and then it makes the picture and you go, oh my God, that's so funny. Lol.
What if it made a video?
Yeah.
A
So
movie.
did you guys ever see what it looked like about a year ago where it was Will Smith eating spaghetti?
Yeah, who could forget?
That is one of the most. I saw that and I was like, oh, we're still. Wow, I was like, oh, we're good. Like look at these idiots. Like they can't cook. And then yesterday they put out a video. I'll have it like in the thing. I'll have it playing all the different sorts of examples. And it is like somebody put in the topic thing like winter wonderland in Tokyo and Japanese petals are falling beneath and a drone camera follows our two characters behind them or something. And it looks insane. Like it looks
Until you inspect further. I saw that one.
yeah, exactly. Until you really like dissect it,
But
it's
the thing is-
scary.
Somebody talked about how like they showed it to their wife. Didn't give them any context. They're like, oh, that looks pretty. Without any context and like
100%.
looking
Yeah.
any deeper, they're just like, yeah, that's and somebody says, like, where do you think this is? And they're like, Japan. So it's like it's doing enough of a job where it's like they just look and they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
For
if you're not
first
educated,
glance.
yeah, if you don't know what to look for in AI, you could like for normies, it's like they're just like, oh, cool.
But that's
Yeah,
the problem. When we get to the point where it's good enough,
Yep.
Do you have to look at everything now as if like, is this AI? Because the thing is, like Rob just pointed out, a year ago we had Will Smith eat spaghetti. It's like, what the fudge is this?
It was awful.
And now,
Like,
yeah, sure,
nightmare
like
fuel.
there's like some inconsistencies with this one, and you can watch, but that's just how we've seen with like normal AI generated art and other generative art AI we've been seeing, where this is as bad as it's gonna get. Like it's only going to get better from here, which with all AI things and all tools is exciting and also terrifying of like how this could be used and supplemented with other things to help people or like the possibilities, but then also how people are going to abuse this. And think about like the next election, what 2028 or whatever, when we have full blown AI stuff like this,
Holy shit.
where like you want to talk about fake news, it's going to be, it does it both sides. Anyone ever you can
Well,
spout whatever they want or pretend.
one of my
and,
favorite
oh my
tweets
goodness.
about it was a quote retweet from the Sora thing, and someone quote retweeted basically having somebody like look at their phone like all confused, and it's like me watching a crime I know I never committed. Like,
Yeah, wait a second. They got me dead to rights. I don't.
yeah, man. It's like I'll put different examples like on it while we're talking about it. It is really, really scary.
Terrifying.
Like
It's gonna...
I don't see, like, for me personally, like I don't see that and I go, wow, exciting.
Yeah,
times.
I see. Holy fuck!
I think
We're
this scary. And I can only imagine, being in that industry where you are a graphic designer, you are somebody that edits movies in that sort of way, as a cinematographer. I don't know what the fuck, but that is just terrifying, man. Like that is scary.
It's scary because it ruins the integrity of art, and double scary because not quite scary yet, because when it comes to like extremely specific things, like AI already does like very like general, like, oh look, it's so pretty, but like 10 years from now when it's gonna be like, yeah, like
Indiscernible.
have this actor doing this like doing this in the desert with this shot, there is foliage all around of cacti, and like you get like actual like like when AI gets to the point where it gets like specific, where it gets you do things like that you specifically need, it's gonna get pretty, I don't know, it's gonna get goofy.
Do you guys
it,
think? Oh, go ahead. I thought you were finished.
I was gonna say, who will probably benefit from this in the short term? It's those city and people like metro area, like pedestrians walking around, cut shots like the breakaways
B-roll
in
and
like
stuff.
of like Love Island or fucking like Love is Blind, or with like the stock free
Yeah.
with the royalty free music playing in the background.
Yeah, honestly,
they're gonna
sweating
get
most should be like like stock footage or something where it's like, oh god,
Yeah.
now they can just make whatever B-roll they want.
Yeah. Yeah, B-roll and stock footage is going to be that's so true. That's going to be like one of the first things that really gets hit, and it's so trash because as much as people rag and like goof on like stock footage, stock imagery, stock anything, like it's still like, even that was still like a very human something.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, it's just scary because I know it's gonna get like, say these AI things really take off and you see AI movies, at this point we're pretty old and whatnot. You would imagine like an actor would have like their rights signed to an AI place because that actor is not real and the AI owns that like entity, the image and the look of that actor or whatever they created that.
Well, that's why we're starting to see some companies, some places like really start putting legislation and like limits on how AI works. I think it was I forgot what's the place that like, it's not a trademark, but like for inventors, when inventors like do
Patent.
something, a patent and stuff. It was that company, not that company, but like that organization that they actually put in place, like you can't have an AI make up an invention or idea for you, and then like you can't trademark or like patent that. You have to, when you show what you've invented or like show something you want to patent or trademark, you have to show that it's been human made. If there's like any AI, like if the idea at all was like AI developed, like you didn't have anything to do with it, like it's not a valid not a valid, not a valid potential like patent or trademark. So stuff like that, exactly what we need. It sucks because like our government and most governments really need to start putting in place like limitations, especially like it's already so slow with shit like deepfakes, where it's like you can't like if you make a deepfake of like someone doing a crime or someone saying something that they didn't actually say, like with stuff that's like damaging, like that should count as so that should count as like finable. That should count as like jail time, stuff that's really damaging. But like, of course, it's taking forever to do so. But it's tough, man. And a lot of this stuff should be a lot of the stuff AI does is just straight up like ripoffs of already of stuff that it got fed. So that's
Yeah,
already
just stuff that already
plagiarism.
existed.
There's so much that should be put in place for AI when it comes to plagiarism. It's like I don't know. It just sucks. You have like some people. You have like a lot of like the animation team that does Into the Spider Verse. Like they're using AI of their own work to help
Yeah.
work on like rough draft stuff and like eventually like stuff that is like fine tuned into the full movie. Like
That's what I find to be interesting. It's
that's
like one
exactly
artist can feed their own thing and then iterate on their own art or be like, oh, do that, and then their own style, and it's a tool for them. But yeah, once you just pulling from everybody,
yeah.
Yeah,
Once you're just pulling from everyone, and now it's no longer interesting. Now it's like now I can't see remixes of my own shit to like putting new spins on it, giving me my own idea. Like, ooh, my ideas are sick. Wait a minute. What if we throw it into the AI bot? Wait a minute. AI bot has something interesting. Let's elaborate on that. And now it's just look at this cool shit I just stole from this random artist that I put into the AI bot. I'm not going to jail for the incredible amount of I'm not getting fined. I'm not getting anything bad happening to me for stealing all this shit from artists. So I don't know. It just sucks. It's crazy. It's scary. It's spooky. Now that it's
yeah.
going into video
And
form.
I
Ugh,
think like what Christian said, what freaks me out the most is like this is the worst it's gonna be.
worst. Yep.
Like
Right
it's
now.
only getting better.
Yep.
Mm.
Ugh.
Switching kind of to a more positive thing. I feel like we're kind of spoiled right now in 2024 right now with gaming. We've gotten 2 games I think right now
We are pretty spoiled.
that have been some of my most fun gaming in a while. So we had Power World obviously in January, and February has brought us Helldivers 2. I only have about what did we play 4 or 5 hours yesterday?
like 5 hours, yeah.
And I had a blast that whole 5 hours, man. It's a lot of fun. I had no idea we played the first Helldivers 8 years ago. And I was shocked to see what Helldivers 1 looked like. But once I saw it, it made sense that we actually
It's
played
crazy
it.
that I can be like, not only did we play it, Robbie, here's the video
Yeah,
of us playing
right,
it.
right. So I think it's a lot of fun. Everything just seems to work. It has the perfect amount of seriousness, but like also a little bit troll. You can have fun with your friends and whatnot, which is what I love about it the most. What about you, Christian?
I think that's what like the absurdity of it is what I think keeps it entertaining. One, I just like the humor. It's it's totally absurd. Definitely like Star Troopers,
Super Troopers, very yeah.
or yeah, Super Troopers, super out there. What is Star Troopers? I don't even
No,
know.
you're right. Super Troopers is like a police kind of wacky.
Oh, Starship Troopers.
Yeah, Starship
Starship.
Troopers.
Oh, I forgot the ship. Yeah, I'd combine both.
Super Troopers
Starship
is dope.
Troopers.
That's I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
the same. They are wacky.
But absurdity.
Freedom, democracy.
Yeah.
Literally, the missions is just like aggressively spread democracy. And it's just super over the top. That I like. That's just a really fun part for me. And then I think it's that mixed with everything that can just happen. Like the general mission structure is actually very samey. It's essentially like kill a horde, do a thing. Kill a horde, do a thing, extract. land in a new planet, kill a horde, do a thing, kill a horde, and that sounds really boring. But once you throw in everything, the possible team killing, the just mechanics of the game, the stratagems, the different unlocks you can get. Like the interesting thing too is as you unlock stuff in the game, as you progress, you're not necessarily getting a better weapon. It's just a different weapon or like a thing that does something different. It's not just like straight progression. Oh, if you get to this thing, oh, it's just like you would have a nuke and the AR you started with is garbage. Everything kind of does different things. So it's like the co-op aspect they did a really cool job with. We've barely touched the surface on some of it. Like we just unlocked this recoilless rocket launcher where you can sit there, pew, fire this like huge anti-tank shot. But if you have a friend, he can put the backpack on the armor with it, and then he can sit attached to you while you shoot it. And then as soon as you're done, he can immediately load into like the next one, so you don't have to sit there and do a whole bunch of reloading. The way all the stratagems work with the co-op stuff, it just works well together, and it's just fun. I think
Yeah.
that's part of it. It's just like it's fun. I don't know like how long I'll play. Like I do think eventually it'll be like, okay, I had fun, but like I'm a little tired of it. I just don't know. Like it's gonna take a while, and I think a lot of people are saying like it should have already gotten boring for them, but it's not.
Well, what
And as long as they keep adding, like they've said, they'll add new races. The war itself is dynamic. So like Rob, that like robot Vietnam we landed on,
yeah.
apparently only came like 2 days ago because they have like an active war, and those were super Earth planets. But then like the narrative was like the robots had shown up and were trying to take back. So that whole region was them now, and now we're fighting to take back that while we're fighting off the bugs.
I was just about to say one of my favorite aspects of this game is how Helldivers 2 handles like their social media of the live game. Basically, like what you said there, like the Onmatrons like attack those bases. They had like a news bulletin on their Twitter, and it like broke this news like, hey, Animatrons launch a brazen attack on multiple well-populated planets. And it's like a news kind of thing, and it's basically telling you like what the update for today is going to be. And I just think that's like a really cool way to handle like a live service game, and just kind of having fun with it and being like, hey, there's a news bulletin about like why the Onmatrons are attacking today. It just kind of gives that game almost like life, almost like a heart. It's just really cool. A lot of fun.
As long as I mean, they've already said, and they've already increased hiring. Add more content and stuff. They already talked about doing like another faction at the very least for us to fight. Add more stratagems, encounters, all that sort of stuff. They got a head in their hands. I mean, it's for Sony. This is the first time they've simultaneously released something on PC as well as PlayStation.
I did not know that.
I'd say it's doing well for them.
I have to say, if it was just on PS5, I don't think it would have done nearly as well, because this is one of those goofy shooters that the PS5 crowd would have gotten, but like this is the type of thing like internet, chronically online crowd of gamers eats the fuck up. Just something so goofy, so fun. The team killing, the sheer amount of chaos. It's just fun, and like this is the perfect Steam game, especially for right now. Especially for the people who didn't like get enthralled with the Power World stuff. They're not really like the monster catching, like survival type player. The person who wants something a little more like easy to jump into. Like hell, like okay, they missed the Power
Easy
World
to
train.
dive.
Oh, they
They
might have missed that hype train, but now they're on the Helldivers one, because Helldivers is a lot more accessible for that crowd. So it's like,
Yeah.
we have seen 2 games that with smaller teams just hit it out of the park so early on, and I hope this is like a pretty big lesson for so many of these AAA studios trying to make these live service games. It's like you got to make a good game before you like ask for people's money. Because I'm all in on Power World, and I haven't played Helldivers yet. I was so busy yesterday, but like I'm sure I've been looking forward to Helldivers since I've seen it, because I just loved how this really fun game that didn't take itself too like this really fun looking game that didn't take itself seriously like this. Plus, I'm a slut for third person shooters, so just a dirty old slut.
What's crazy
Yeah.
is not only that, we also got Enshrouded, which was
That
completely
too, which I forgot about that.
overshadowed by Palworld, but that thing still,
Still
I
popped
don't
off.
Did
know.
really
Yeah, if we've
well
seen
in
updated
comparison to
numbers,
like,
but even in the first week, 1 million units sold, which compared to Palworld, every people are like, well, Palworld sold 13 million. No, nothing sells like Palworld.
yeah.
The whole reason Palworld's insane right now is because like it's hitting numbers that don't happen. So for an indie game, $30 to come out, even just a week after Palworld and still sell over 1 million, that is pretty insane. That game's been doing really well. Personally, the one on my radar the most right now, never played the first one, but from what I've seen, very interested to check out the second one. I think it comes towards the end of March. Dragon Dogmas 2. I don't know if
Oh,
you guys have seen
dude,
any of that stuff. Looks
it looks
sweet.
I haven't seen
so
anything.
sick.
Looks
We talked
insane.
about it a little bit on a podcast around it wasn't the state of play, it was the Game Awards, Rob. Um, and I touched on it a little bit, but like Dragon's Dogma is just like that. It like touches like the same like that same sweet spot of like grotesque, over the top, just gaudy, like ornate to an absurd degree, and like the same level that like Berserk hits for people, in the same level that like Dragon Ball hits for a lot of people. It's just so over the top and ridiculous. Um, but that's why people love it. People were like, oh, "Dude, Dragon's Dogma, like best 7 out of 10 game I've ever played." Because I remember the first one, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, this is a little bit of a mess, but god damn, is it fun."
Um, I've just been watching a bunch of videos, interviews about like how this sequel is the one he like really wanted to finally make, and it's like the realization of his vision. But the world, the combat, like it's mainly immersion, so there's like really no fast traveling unless you have like certain essence, which you get very rarely. But like they want you to be traveling. You can like hitch wagon rides with things. Um, go around the world. There's like no the map is only as you discover it, and then nothing on the map. You like have to like no markers or UI or whatever. You just remember what you're doing. A lot of the quest stuff you get is from overhearing from things, or you have these things called oh, what are they called? Can't remember. They're a version of like companions, where you create them and they're AI, and they follow you around like a party. You can have 4 of them, I believe. 3 of them follow you. I think you can create 2 of them, and one is somebody you recruit that somebody else has made. And it's all like generative AI learning, not like the new stuff. Video games have had this forever, but it's just where like as they play more during the game and stuff, like the first time you fight a goblin, they'll have a tough time. But by the 10th goblin you fought, they've learned how to fight goblins and they're better at
Yeah.
fighting goblins, or like
That's cool.
griffins. They remember that knowledge. If you've done something similar to a quest, or they were near an NPC when they were talking about a quest and you're
That's
doing
kinda
something,
cool.
they can be like, hey, I remember so and so said this. We should check this out.
Oh,
Or if you get one that somebody else has made, they'll come into your party, and if they've already done some of this stuff, they can share knowledge they remember from the other person playing and that kind of stuff. And then they all fight with you. So you're like running around with like a little party of adventurers. Combat looks interesting, and all the different classes you can do. All in all, yeah, we'll see. I never played the first one, but I'm definitely very interested in checking out the second. So
anything else we wanted to touch on before we switch on over to some Q&A?
Did we hold up? Today, I'm going to say we're going to double check on all the things that we wrote down, and we're going to make sure that we hit all of them. We've
Very
never
good.
done that before, and I just remembered I should look at that list. We did it. We hit everything we were going to talk about. Good job, everyone. All right, Q&A time.
Lumberlord. Oh, go ahead.
Ugh.
Well, I got a call yesterday. It's still not set in stone, but I think like June 18th might be my surgery date.
Okay.
So I finally got a surgery. If nothing else happens, and appointments go according to plan. That's like one of their in-house patient days, whatever, hospitals. So yeah, it might be big old surgery date. So just heads up.
Lumberlord, if Pokemon's online interface had a nice polish and flashy animations in play, would you guys play it? Or is it the game itself just not something you're interested in playing regardless of UI? I'm assuming they're talking about
the
Pokemon
TCG?
TCG.
I love Pokemon TCG.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just
I
so it
competed
is
in it
just a
because
UI issue.
Yeah,
I don't
everything else
know.
aside from the game is garbage.
I think for me, it's like I'm playing like a 2000s. I don't know, like
Flash game.
action script.
Yeah.
Not action script, but I don't know. It just feels very cheap, and it just feels very like I don't know. It's not really creative in like how they transfer the act of playing the TCG into like a good like a highly legible version for digital.
Just feels very
The
sterile.
it's so sterile. The way you get cards is like I feel like I'm playing like a Cartoon Network collecting game from like mid 2000s.
Actually true.
Um
I feel like
you
I'm
get
about to tab into the Teen Titans fighting game.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, you
Dang
you
it.
scan QR codes from the packs to get cards, which is like cool, but like like the in-game there's no like actual like in-game store if you just want to play it digitally. There's no and nor is there uh a reason to play it outside of like unless you really love Pokemon TCG, like and even then like and I don't know, it just doesn't recreate the magic that you enjoy from the card game because it doesn't stand alone as its own game is my main issue is the Pokemon TCG simulator is all it really is. And they sell it as like Pokemon TCG Live. It's like it's literally just like a really cheap simulator from the biggest entertainment
Give them a break, man. They
brand.
only have, you
It just it doesn't
quadrupajillion.
my issue it doesn't stand alone as its own game. It's literally it's just not like I would like a game that is stands alone in its own game, has its own interface, has its own store, has its own reasons to play it, has its like Hearthstone, right? Like has its own quests. I want a Pokemon TCG game that works in tandem with Pokemon TCG. Right now it's literally just yeah, if you happen to have some fucking QR codes, scan them and play online on this really cheap shitty simulator. It's whatever. It's whatever.
Unknown source with the next question. It says, what is your favorite thing to collect, if anything? Also, is there a P.O. box fans can send stuff to? I think Christian still has one.
Yes,
In the description of every video, I think, of his. Should
I
be there.
believe so. Yeah.
If you
Or
postmark
in
stuff
like my
toward
about
us,
page.
if you
I
postmark
guess I can
stuff
start putting your
aimed,
P.O. box.
aimed
and-
for us, he'll give it to us. He did that the last two Fruit Summits.
in
Yeah,
terms
but
of
just now, if you
collect,
start sending a lot, I can't send out mail. So it'll
Yeah.
be like the next time I see
Whenever
you.
whenever we come, yeah.
yeah. The only thing that I really collect are like these. These are like artisan keycaps from like artists that I like. Let's see. Yeah, so that's really all I ever really like collect. I don't really collect things. I just think these keycaps are cool. And like the ones on the top are like the specific ones I collect. Yeah, artisan keycaps. That's about it.
Man, me and Fruit over here looking like yeah, we're hoarders.
No, I'm look. I think if I
You don't really
Caps,
collect
cap.
anymore, do you? Like in terms of like collect.
Really?
I couldn't tell you the last thing I
Other Pokemon
purchased or
cards, I guess.
collected. I did that occasionally with like mainly the last time I really collected that was Sun and Moon.
Oh, I would like you guys to know that Mr. Fruit is the when Fruit was big on TCG, I saw his collection that's under his that's like in
Living room.
his living room. Dear God. I just want to say Claire is a saint because I would not be able to organize a collection as good as Claire did.
Well, see, she enjoys that. Like for me, I just get rid of the bulk. She
Yeah.
loves the bulk
Yep.
and organizing the bulk. I'd be like,
I need to
Unless
pay
it's like-
Claire.
unless it's the toppers and the binder, and like one of each. essentially, because like I don't play anymore or whatever. Like, what the fuck? Yay!
I need to pay Claire to organize like my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and my Pokemon cards. That'd be satisfying.
We should just make that her job. I'll make her a business. She'll fly out,
There's
all your
there
collections,
is
sort out your bulks.
well, there's a whole business for. I'm sorry to get like off the beaten path. There's a huge business for just like organizers, people who just like show up to like people's houses and like organize like their
I
collections.
believe it.
Yeah, but anyways,
I would hire somebody.
I
'cause I'm
wouldn't want
terrible.
to do it. Yeah.
Do you
so
not-
that's-
Yeah, I'd be
So-
like, thankfully I have Claire. So.
so nothing. You don't really collect things, Mr. Fruit.
Well, that's just it. Like aside from that, I don't really buy anything either. I buy the games I play for videos.
board games? You collect board games?
Food. I mean, like we bought like
You
a
don't
board
cl-
game
yeah.
last year. We buy board games as like, oh, this looks fun to play, not like a
Ooh,
match.
let's throw the let's
Yeah.
or like
we don't have this
or like
one.
yeah, we really want it's literally just like that one looks fun to play, and then we played a couple times, and then it goes on the shelf. Yeah, I don't know. I buy food. That's what I collect. I enjoy buying.
I
food.
do be starting a nice collection of protein bars and powders. That's what I'm.
True.
That's my collection.
If you saw my cabinet, you'd think I collect advanced GG, but they just send me way too much.
Same.
That must be nice.
Well, they never send me the flavors I ask. So that's also why they keep amassing. Because they have like 20 of the flavors. I'm like, bro, that's so great. But like, where's my lemonade? Where's my cherry limeade, man? Like, where's my Dream Team Punch? You know what I'm saying?
If you ask them, you're Mr. Fruit, I'm sure they would.
No, I
You
do.
think?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then they'll send me a package. I'm like,
Get together, man.
thanks, but
Fuck, what do I collect? I was big on plushies, but I really had to slow down on that shit because I started getting way too many. So I no longer do that. I realized my issue when like it was like the 3-foot Dragapult plush that came out,
yeah.
like a big ass Dragapult plush, and
I
I
got a
was
giant Arcanine one. We don't even know what to do with it. It's just so big.
I was rabid for that thing, and I was at some point I was like, I'm about to spend $300 on this eBay Dragapult plush, and I realized what the fuck is wrong with it's gonna sit in the corner. Like what is wrong with me? So I don't do that anymore. I was big on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've slowed down on that as well because same deal. I don't have space for all these cards, and I haven't organized them. I know what I need to do to organize them, but right now they're just kind of just sitting in my shelves because I don't want to do it. I don't want to like put the bulk in like a bulk. I don't want to organize everything into bulk containers.
Yeah.
Ironically, what I think helps me is that like my office has like no storage. And I already don't have room. So it's like I think if I did have, like those people have like the shelves all throughout there with all this stuff, I think I'd probably buy more things. But part of it's just like where am I gonna put any of this?
I'm with you on
I think
that.
that's part of it.
Yeah.
And also I know myself that just like that, if I get going on something, I'm like, oh sheesh, I get the old dumb. I'm like, oh, I'm spending way
That's
too
how I
much
feel
money.
just
I go way
about
too
these little things. They don't do anything but sit in a little case, and nobody sees them but me.
And that's all that matters.
The only thing I do definitely have a massive itch for and still do is like really sick figurines. But like not like any figurines. We're talking like really specific. Like my favorite.
You're talking like good
Pokemon.
Godzilla -1 action
I'm
figures that
talking
are coming
like-
out soon.
I'm talking like I just like
You
a
comping.
couple months ago, I just like dropped a really irresponsible like $100 on this Mega Pidgeot figurine. It's so gas.
It's a good one to get.
Get serotonin every time.
I mean, that's at the end of it too. It's like that's the only thing that matters is for that person. Does it do something for them? Because just like that,
That's
like those
true.
keycaps. What's the point of collecting them if it's for somebody else? You know,
Exactly.
all it has
And
to be is for or
See, I'm
those
not
figurines.
flexing
As
these
long as it's
anywhere.
blue.
You have no idea.
and
Yeah.
I'm not proud to say a couple years ago, I did spend like $300 on this super bougie blue eyes white dragon. It lights up and everything.
I remember you talking
Statue
about that last time.
with a sick ass base. He's coming out of the card. like the base is like him and his card, and it has like clouds and shit. Drop
That
that.
sounds cool.
Drop. It's so fucking sick. Dropped it. It was worth it, but same deal. It's so sick. Never mind. It was worth it. It was so worth it.
I regret nothing.
But I don't really do that a ton. Like something really specific has to come up, and I have to be like, that is sick. But that's about the only thing I collect now. None of that Funko Pop shit. If someone has like a wall of Funko Pops, that's a red flag. They're probably like a bad person. Do
Sorry,
not
Eric.
trust someone with a Funko Pop addiction.
Just Flash. Just started playing Animal Crossing, and any tips for anybody who has just started playing? You guys have a great week. Yeah, check on your what are they called? Villagers, because I haven't played in a minute.
They're lonely.
My villagers are wondering where the hell I'm at.
I'm gonna be honest, it's been so long I don't remember basic gameplay loop. Very hardly.
Where the fuck have
You
you
dig
been?
some stuff up. Any tips? Not at all. Here's my tip: the day ends, speed up your system.
Speed
clock.
up your day so you don't have to wait up your day anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to actually wait a whole day.
I tried to get in. I mean, I played it, and I was like, I kind of understood it, but then like we started getting into like radish stocks, and I was like, I'm out.
I'm out.
Like, this is I'm out.
I would. My one tip would be, if you care, unless you're just like, ooh, I like these villagers. If you want to get like the coolest rated villagers or whatever, see whoever's at your island, and then look
Pick
and
'em
be
out.
like, ooh, this one's cool. Or even if you don't care about other people's opinions, I would just go and look at all the available ones you could get, pick out your favorites, and be like, ooh, I eventually want to get like that penguin dude or whatever. And then if he's not there, just treat villagers terribly or whatever until they want to leave. And then rotate them in until you get some villagers you like.
We'll do the last
So in other words,
question
be a horrible neighbor. That's my tip.
We'll do the last question here from Kara. It says, realistically, if you were given a year to prepare, what professional sport that you haven't played do you think you could do best in a match?
None of them.
Am I going up against a professional? Because if so,
I would
literally, I
Haven't
don't think any
prepared.
of them.
Haven't prepared. That's an insane question, because I mean, like, if you had the money, you could probably do it. Like, you see, like, but like even like the Conor McGregors and stuff, like they're already like fucking athletes. They're already like kings of their sports. So like going into another sport, they're already a unit. So they already have a head start because they've had
It's a
years of build
hypothetical.
up.
Well, we're thinking about it hypothetically, right?
I
That's
like
fair.
Realistically,
That's
hypothetically.
fair. Okay, fair.
I like I think snowboarding. If you give me a whole year to like, I already know how to move, I already know how to do this, and now I'm just going into like a mat and just flipping into the mat and learning my flips and whatnot and park and stuff. I think I could be a pretty decent. Now, would I win? No, but I just landed a McTwist. That was tight.
I think if I've learned anything, it's that if I get the right ticket, I could do boxing. If other YouTubers have proven anything, just get the right ticket, get the right washed up boxer. Give me a year. Obviously, this is hypothetical because I could never do it with my jaw. I would literally never risk, especially post surgery, anything. If anything happened to my jaw again, I would cry. So that wouldn't happen. Hypothetically, box. Give me a year, and here's the best part. All I need to do is like last the rounds, right? Let's just go 6 rounds.
You just gotta try. You gotta.
Maybe I'm not getting a TKO, right? But like, if I last more than a round or two, that's a win in my book. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna do. Let them gas them out. Maybe I'm fancy on my feet. I don't know. Also, make sure I get like an actual matchup. A lot of the like creator matchups too, where they just do amateur versus amateur. It's like me at 5'9.5", 170 versus
5'9.5" is pretty generous.
It's like that's exact. Okay. The papers actually say 5'10", but I'm being honest. Okay, 5'9.5".
We are not 5'9".
And then I matched up against like 6'3", 220. Those are like some of the matchups where it's just like,
all right, well,
like he's over there. This is my reach, but he's able to get to me. And it's like, what are we doing here? What's the point?
I'm like the least athletic gym dude. so it's tough. You know, I could,
You could
you
do like
know,
croquet,
Powerlifting.
no powerlift. Well, see, like I already have a head start because like
cricket.
I like doing like
Wicked.
weight stuff, and I'm kind of already going to like some Olympic weightlifting classes because they're fun. But like the whole point is not that you're in. The whole point is like a sport that you like a out of left field sport, right? So
Pickleball,
what are those what are,
badminton.
the, what are those no
I'm trying to help you.
um
Frisbee.
no I know what it is. I'm getting lost now. Fuck. I know what I was gonna
Frisbee
say. I
golf.
was like, no, it was fuck. It was the what's that thing those people do where like they
Slap competition.
I would actually I might be okay with that, but no,
I'd get destroyed.
it's those guys that like on ice and like they have like the little squeegees.
Curling.
The curling, yes, I could.
Uh,
I bet that shit's easy as fuck. I could
No
do that
shot.
curling shit.
I would rather box than try and.
I just don't want to be
Dude.
cold.
I'd feel like I'd be so frustrated because I'm just like, just do what I want you to do, you stupid.
Well, look,
thing.
I'm just being realistic. What could I actually do well with
That's
a
fair.
year prep? I
Wait,
could
yeah,
probably
yeah.
do.
I'll
some
be the
curling.
sweeper. You curl, but yeah, I'll just be the. I feel like give me a year and I could be decent at that.
This is me
More,
sweeping.
more, more,
Yeah, more.
Rob!
That's more.
My brother in Christ.
I'm sweeping.
Yo.
I'm sweeping. What?
He's-
Why? How come Christian sweeps and then I sweep? It's weird.
Audio listeners,
He was literally sweeping and then I went to sweep too.
audio listeners,
You're
I want
lucky
you
I
guys.
have an L desk. Otherwise, I would get up.
To be fair,
Yeah.
my sweeper would probably be a little smaller, so probably just one.
God, audio listeners, I want you guys to know Rob has done some
I'm
phallic,
on my shit.
something phallic for like the past 4 podcasts in a row with something suggestive as fuck. He's
I think we can make it 5 next week.
this is like
Without
the, this
being
is
I
like,
need Jesus.
You know,
I think
without-
this
without
is
being
like
cheap.
I think this is like the 3rd podcast in a row we've like ended the podcast with Rob doing something subjective near his meat area.
Let's make it 5.
Let's
But
Yeah, why
like it
stop
can't be
now?
cheap. It has to be, something.
The
you know.
funniest part is Fruit is like deadpan, serious, like saying like what he could do, and
Yeah,
then
I'm
he
over here
looks
like,
over,
yeah, we'll curl, and then I'm like,
and then he looks over at Rob's and he's like, oh, "Man, what?"
I'm sitting there thinking
Sweeping.
about, I'm like literally curling, and I'm like, yeah, and then
See who holds
and I
a
look
broom
over
up
here, and he's
though?
like,
That's
yeah,
what-
I'm just freaking.
Well, I'm holding it like where you would
Yeah,
hold it.
Yeah, I'm just whatever.
Whatever.
Rob uses 2 hands, ladies, is what we've learned.
That'll do it for the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 217. Appreciate you guys all watching and hanging out. Big shouts out to all the Patreon stands supporting the podcast. You guys are the true backbone of it. We will catch you guys next week for some more phallic jokes. Peace out.